Chapter 7: The Weight of Despair. The morning light filtered through the curtains, casting soft patterns on Samir's troubled face. He had barely slept, his mind racing with thoughts of Rhea, her fury, and the darkness threatening to engulf them both. The reality of her termination weighed heavily on him, an insatiable pit of guilt gnawing at his stomach. How had it come to this? The phone buzzed on his desk, snapping him from his spiraling thoughts. It was a message from Ravi, a colleague he once trusted. "Samir, Rhea got a call this morning. They're stopping her from entering the office. She's devastated. You need to act fast." A wave of desperation crashed over him. He knew Arvind was tightening his grip on Rhea, but this was worse than he had imagined. Samir felt paralyzed, unable to reach out to her, his own voice caught in the web of lies that ensnared them. He had thought his silence was a shield, protecting Rhea from the darkness that surrounded them, but now it felt like a betrayal. The thought of Rhea alone and frightened gnawed at his insides. His fingers trembled over his phone, the urge to text her battling against the cold fear that held him captive. Before he could act, another notification pinged. It was an email, Rhea's termination notice. The breath caught in his throat as he read the lines, each word like a dagger piercing his heart. She was officially out, just as Arvind had threatened. Just then, his phone rang, shattering the suffocating silence. It was an unknown number. With dread pooling in his stomach, he answered. Samir, the voice on the other end was cold and condescending. "You're wasting your time. Rhea is out, and we've ensured she'll stay out. Don't even think about trying to fix this. It's over." As the call ended, a wave of despair washed over him. They had taken her from him, and he felt helpless. The reality hit him like a punch to the gut. Rhea was gone, and there was nothing he could do to change that. He sat in silence, staring at the termination email. Anger, guilt, and despair intertwined within him. His thoughts spiraled, replaying every moment he had pushed her away, every time he had chosen silence over action. He had thought it was for her safety, but now it felt like a cruel joke. Samir gripped the edge of his desk, his knuckles turning white. He had wanted to protect her, to shield her from the monsters lurking in the shadows. Instead, he had only succeeded in leaving her vulnerable and exposed. No one could help him now, he was utterly alone. He had no allies, no one to reach out to for assistance. The thought of contacting anyone for help was futile. The darkness that surrounded him felt suffocating, a reminder of the isolation he faced. As the hours dragged on, he realized the cruel truth. Rhea was now just a memory, a flicker of light extinguished by the shadows of his reality. He felt a hollow ache in his chest, a profound loneliness that threatened to consume him. The mansion that had once felt like home now stood as a mausoleum of lost hopes and dreams. He accepted the weight of despair that settled over him like a shroud. Rhea was gone, and he was once again left to navigate the treacherous waters of his life alone. The haunting echo of Arvind's threats lingered in his mind, a constant reminder of the danger that had driven them apart. Samir stared out at the city lights, the world moving on without him. He was a ghost in his own life, trapped in a web of shadows, yearning for a way out. But deep down, he knew he had lost her, and the darkness would continue to close in, suffocating him with its relentless grip. How do you think Samir's silence and inaction contributed to Rhea's despair? Could he have done something differently to protect her? Samir believes that staying silent was protecting Rhea, but it led to her feeling abandoned. How do you think silence can either shield or hurt someone in a relationship? Do you think Samir's fear of Arvind's power is justified, or is he using it as an excuse for not acting? How should he confront the situation now? How do you think the emotional weight of Rhea's termination is affecting Samir? Can guilt be a motivator for him to finally take a stand? The chapter shows how both Rhea and Samir are struggling in isolation. How important is support from others in overcoming personal crises, and how might this play into the story ahead? See you again with Chapter 8, Silent Whispers of Love.